Indiana beats Michigan 78-75. Came down to the wire. Oh, it was heartbreaking. Doug McDaniels missed some key free throws there at the end of the game. They had one last shot. Kel'el Ware with the huge block on the inbound pass. It was honestly a fantastic game to watch. Both teams really wanted it. It was going back and forth. I had a lot of fun watching. I didn't really have a dog in the fight, but I enjoyed watching it. Burke, what were your thoughts?
Hey, the vibes are good in Bloomington, boys. Like we are getting it rolling. This team is finally starting to hit its stride here, and there isn't a better time to do so than the first two games of the Big Ten. I mean, just their ability. Like Michigan is going to be a team that lives and dies with the abilities of Doug McDaniel and Olivier Nkamhoua. And the fact that the Hoosiers were able to hold Doug McDaniel to 3 for 14 from the floor, that's a credit to Gabe Cupps. Yeah, that's a credit to Gabe Cupps, man.
He's the dude that shows up at the YMCA that everybody hates because he is so annoying with how he plays.
I mean, you really could see that Doug McDaniel was able to outpace him just with Doug's ability to get to the line as much as he did in that game. But just Gabe's ability to battle him, just with Xavier out, Gabe being asked to do so much. It was just awesome to see. And then just Kel'el just is hitting. Kel'el is absolutely Kel'el. He is Superman. Like, what he has been doing through the start of this season, the entire organization of like Oregon's basketball program needs reviewed. It needs Dana Altman needs brought to justice, because how is he doing this year? Like, how was his motor a question? It was the only thing that Indiana was able to rely on in those first stretch of just non-conference escape jobs we were doing. And he's been unbelievable. Like in this game, he wasn't the highest producer. Like Malik carried the load with 15. But it was him on every single impact play. Like every play that defined the game, Kel'el had a part in. And with Xavier out, this one was interesting because the Hoosiers didn't have their primary ball handler. They didn't have their like cut to the basket option. And honestly, the distribution, the overall production, it all turned out for the better. Like the Hoosiers were looking to spread the ball, share the ball. And going through it, it was like the Hoosier point totals in that game, 15, 11, 13, 2 for Gabe Cupps. Hey, we had his defensive efforts there. 9, 6, 6, 8, 8. That is the point totals for anyone who touched the floor in that game. That it was just contributions by just the entire squad.
Oh my gosh, Penn State just tied it up. Sorry. No, Gabe Cupps, he had one shot and 2 points.
Yeah.
I tell you, I love watching Gabe Cupps play. He just plays with so much energy and so much fire. And I was really concerned when Xavier Johnson was going to be out for a little while. You know, I was concerned about what were they going to do at the guard position. Do they have any answers there? I mean, their big men are the answers. If you just look at the score, the box score, you don't see the impact that Kel'el Ware had on this game. I mean, there were a lot of things that he did that helped this team out in a lot of different ways. I mean, he only played 24 minutes, but you felt his presence every time he was on the court, and he was making things happen every single time, along with Malik Reneau. I think that is a good combo, one of the best big men combo in the Big Ten right now that we're not, that I don't think we're giving enough credit to. Obviously, there are other really good ones as well, but they're evolving into one of the better ones, and it's just really, really fun to watch. Sonny, what are your thoughts on this game?
I think the stark difference between these two programs is, Indiana players, they seem to, be excited. The fan base seems to be excited with Mike Woodson and the recruiting classes he's bringing in and where the program is moving forward. Whereas Michigan fans, I think, have started to see the warts on Juwan Howard and whoever is coaching in his place in particular games. I saw a record. He's something like 1-12 or 1-13 in one possession games. He can bring talent in, but he's been there long enough now that you can see that, like, I don't know if the charm is getting stale now. It's like, it's almost like, no, I wouldn't even say that. Harbaugh and the, Michigan, they were always winning 9-10 games. So let me disregard that comparison. But I just think, with Howard, yeah, he had a couple of nice Sweet 16 runs, but I think we've already kind of seen what his ceiling is. And we're seeing it night in and night out now that almost every given night he can get out-coached by the better coaches in the Big Ten. And, Michigan basketball Twitter is kind of fun to pay attention to just because, they're a rabid group and they're starting to see that, it might be time to move on.
Yeah, no, and we talked about that, 2 episodes ago with Juwan Howard, where it's like, at what point do you move on? Because this is the struggle of having a legendary player become your coach, is you don't want to move on because of everything he's done. It's kind of like Bill Belichick with the Patriots right now, right? They want to fire Bill Belichick because he's not doing a very good job. They just lost 6-0. I mean, it's not looking good in New England right now. It's kind of the same thing with Michigan. They're getting the talent. There are reasons to keep Juwan Howard around. He is a former legendary player, but he's, like you said, Sonny, he's getting out coached almost every single night. I mean, there are Big Ten coaches that are just better coaches than him, and it's really hard for the fan base. Burke, do you?
In regards to the coaching, really quick, I just want to pile on.
That's what I was going to ask about. Go ahead.
No, usually I would think that Mike Woodson wouldn't be able to be like an in-game general to beat him in that regard. But Mike Woodson has taken strides this season in that game, especially. Like, it looks like he is making adjustments in the way he's going to coach this team. The team isn't forcing anything. You can tell by our shot selection. That's definitely the case. But it was just, he was working on this platoon subbing system initially out of the gate of this season. I'm hoping that was just him being like, lesser competition. Let's see who I'm going to build my roster out with. But he just knocked that off, which since then, I mean, the Hoosiers have been able to keep an offensive rhythm finally. And I mean, the way he had that team ready to defend Michigan the way they did at the end of this game, like, he had them prepared to make sure that Doug McDaniel wasn't going to be the one getting an opportunity to take a, better than most chances it was going in heave to tie the game up and send it to overtime. Like, I'm so proud with what he's been able to do this season alone in his advancements and in his own coaching philosophies.
No, yeah, you see Mike Woodson grow as a coach. I think when he came in, he really had an NBA mentality and, kind of some of the same stuff that Juwan is struggling with right now. And we've seen him evolve. We've always seen Mike Woodson be able to develop players and be the guy to make that happen. But we are seeing a bit of a change this season so far. And it is refreshing to see for an IU program that, they just struggled with Tom Crean and Archie Miller. And now they have, a legendary player as a coach now who's doing a good job. And it's really nice to see. So, Sonny, you have any thoughts about Mike Woodson and his coaching before we move on?
I mean, not particularly. Like, obviously, Indiana's built what I think is as good of a front court as anyone in the conference has. I wouldn't put him in the upper tier of, in-game coaching, but I think that's kind of what Burke is saying. I haven't watched as much Indiana basketball, but, as long as he's progressing a little bit, all it takes is, if Indiana's leapfrog Michigan, I've been there. When we first hired Underwood, we were at the bottom of the Big Ten. So hiring a guy, you just want him to slowly elevate you year by year into different tiers in the Big Ten. And it looks like, at least the couple of Indiana guys I talked to are, very happy with, the trajectory that Woodson has Indiana at.
Yeah, I don't know how you can't be happy right now. I mean, there's a lot of talented players there, and Mike Woodson's doing a good job. I mean, don't they have another 5-star or something coming in, Burke?
Oh, yeah, Liam McNeely. And
that's right.
There were some rumblings regarding Derek Queen, and I think a bunch of Maryland fans are upset right now. But I don't read into that too much because I've been hurt before. So
don't hurt me again.
Yeah, but hey, before we get off this game, just want to say your pick for freshman of the year. Mackenzie Mgbako starting to find his stride. Yes. He's starting to figure it out. Last 3 outings, 18 points, 8 rebounds, 13 points, 7 rebounds, 11 points, 4 rebounds. That was after just a dud of a start, but we got him rolling. This front court is firing.
And I think the main thing with Mackenzie Mgbako right now is he's not hunting that 3-point shot as much as he was early in the season. It almost felt like he was like, I gotta be this 3-point threat. I gotta be this 3-point shooter. And I think eventually Mike Woodson just told the guys, like, stop shooting threes. We can't do it. Just take it if they give it to you, but just stop. I mean, there were 3 for 9 in this game. I mean, how many games are you gonna see, especially an IU team shoot less than 10 3-pointers? I mean, it was crazy, but he went 1 for 2 from the 3-point arc, and I'm glad to see him focusing on scoring the way that he has been able to for a long time, and not focusing on that 3-pointer as much. So he's definitely
I think the Hoosiers in that game scored 1 less 3-pointer than Michigan, but took 9 less, something like that. So it's just just the Hoosiers taking the shots that make sense for them now.
Right. I mean, in basketball today, you have individual players taking 9 3-pointers.
Yeah.
In a game. You know, it's a contrast to, where the game is going.
Yeah, it's old school. We're going to switch it up on you. But hey, I mean, it's resulting in wins, so we'll just keep doing it until it falls off.
Do it till it breaks,
Yeah.
Dylan wanted to let us know that the Boulder Express dogs are up in here, so making sure that
best behavior.
Best behavior up here. But hey, Frank has some nice things to say. Really positive about Mike Woodson's coaching last night. That's really good. And then look at this, Mackenzie Mgbako had a clutch free throw last night too. You're correct, Frank. He just 2 for 2 with free throws. Did a great job. I just don't have enough good things to say about this IU team with being able to win a close game like that. Obviously, like we said, Michigan has their struggles with their coach, those kind of things, but it was a good thing to see for IU and Mike Woodson and the rest of them. So thanks for listening to the Big Ten Huddle. Please do like and subscribe. We appreciate that. If this was your first time listening, we are the Big Ten Huddle. We cover all things Big Ten football and basketball. We have a long episode every Sunday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night, all at 9 o'clock. So come in, check us out, get in the chat, let us know what you're thinking. We would love to have you join us and learn more about the Big Ten.